If you'd like to come on and have a seat, scooch up a chair. We're going to scry an inkblot made in the name of and respect and reciprocity of Rick Rubin.
Down.
So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Rick, for being my muse for my celebrity scry, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. And for all those who are joining me, the scryers, the seers, and the aura astronauts, you know the drill. Soar freely through to receive what resonates, release accordingly. We'll scry the ink for shapes and symbols that speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll add on tarot and oracle, and the spirit box here is kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate, nurturing our interconnected nature. I'm going to take a moment here if you'd like to join me to close the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support.
Where?
Okay, Rick, before I get into it, I'm seeing, like one of those things maybe back in the day, as I tend to say a lot. My timeline's being a little messy, but nonetheless. So it's almost like a carousel that would sit beside a bedside table, and I feel like I'm younger, but that's just the image of it. And there's like a mush with a dog sled. Yep. And it's like I can see, and then there's like a really big moon and this dog sled thing. And it's like as it's turning, it might even have music with it. And as it turns, the mush, the journey turns around and the moon becomes the sun. So I don't know if that has any meaning for you. I don't know if that's indicative of a journey or going with inside something that I've buried, something that I contend with here and there that makes me feel like I'm out in the cold. Or every so often I go to this place like a retreat. Like now I'm seeing like one of those movies where like a writer will go off to a cabin to, immerse themselves in this something or other. But it feels like northern, like Vermont, or I don't know, pick another cold place in the world. And it could very much be representative of the introvert internal aspects in the world, less the outside. But it's like there's a communication between day and night, between the external or the exoteric world to the esoteric to the internal world. I also feel like there's loyalty between, bear with me, the living and those loved and moved on. So the loyalty they may have, and whatever number is typically the number for a dog sled team may mean something, and it may be symbolic. And I feel like there's loyalty to the people around me that help take me or carry me somewhere, even when I'm heading out in a way and I'm retreating for a while, or it's carrying me to my next destination. I feel like equally I can see living dogs
Far away.
and spirit dogs, which just symbolizing people in spirit, those that have moved on, different people, places, or things that maybe you have interacted with and hold you in high regard and still wish to help whatever it is that you're doing. Something about like mixing talents. Like I can see a bunch of them having some of these dogs, ones are really good of the leader of the pack. The other ones, now it's like football stuff. They're really good at offense, defense. I don't know any of these terms, but there they are. Hopefully you can piece that together. And it's kind of like between the spirits that have passed on and the spirits that are still incarnate, they can work together in this mishmash. I was taking a bath on a Saturday night. Okay, so I'm going to start here in your ink. I also have a poker hand here of some cards that came up. See, okay, right? I probably have ink all over my hands. It's fine. It's kind of like a wise man. It's like, what is that gentleman's name? Is it Kung Fu, wax on, wax off? Did you have a mentor? Do you have a mentor? Did you have a mentor? Am I a mentor? I'm not really sure, but that's what it feels like. And I'm thinking. Somebody in spirit feels like they're a mentor to you. So maybe you did have somebody that you would even categorize in that place. Parent, doesn't matter what their position was here in this life. Just somebody that you would hold in that kind of heartfelt regard.
Regret.
And maybe you didn't get to say anything. Maybe there was some regrets. I don't feel like there actually was that would hold... that weren't heard. Okay. Thank you. But now I'm in like this, And there's these mountains around here. I don't know if there's like a cabin somewhere, a cabin in the woods. It doesn't have to be wintertime. That could just be symbolic of a feeling, when I get a particular feeling and I need to, go inside. Let's see, like right down here. There's like this foggy version, at least the way I'm seeing it from here, and it's protected by this guru mentor person. And again, I'm not using those terms in some worshipy way. I'm using those terms in what I'm noticing is very respectful. Like I'm just claiming respect or applying respect to the people that have held positions in my heart, not necessarily the positions amongst the planet or the people. I will follow him. Yeah, see, follow him wherever he may go. There's something about that. Like some people will just, and I don't even want blind loyalty. That's not valuable to me either. That's how I'm thinking as I'm in your aura. Like I don't want blind loyalty. It's like now I'm seeing like when I was in the corporate world and, there's yes men, there's these kinds of men and all these like different mentalities anyway to communicate with. Like personality A. And really, I'm just like looking for, I don't know, is it authenticity? But even then, authenticity seems like a bit, anyway, okay, getting distracted. All right, give me a moment here, Rick. I got to dive right in. It's like I can see something. So now I'm placed into this where other people may see you as like an angel or a devil. Maybe you see yourself or, the male, female energies, the right brain, left brain, yada, yada, yada. We can all apply it. I'm creating something now but it's still in a spirit form or it's still in its space of my imagination. So it's between the intellect and intuition, and it's like my imagination plays with it, but I can kind of like look at it. Maybe I do a doodle or I write things down and it gives me this way to like look at it. I don't know if this is part of a process or what that is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by something else. Anyway, so I'm applying healing hands is what I would call it I'm going to still call it healing hands. There's a high integrity and energy in the hands, and it's like, so I can kind of play with this and see how I want to mold it. It is like a clay, symbolically speaking, but it's not a red clay. It's more of a gray clay. No. Gray matter. Is it like brain stuff? Like thinking the brain, pinky in the brain. Yeah, it might be gray matter. As also when I like sense my how I'm feeling in it, when I sense my shadow aspect maybe coming up, which isn't a bad thing, right? That whole angel devil harmony, but maybe that's been an ongoing molding. I could say manipulation, but when I say manipulation, maybe I've done things in the mindset or the mindscape or the brainscape or whatever we want to call it, and
leave me alone.
Yeah, it was like I was poked enough, and the manipulation has, looking at the totality of that word, like you can manipulate clay and it turns into something. But for some reason, I very clearly want to say, like, in some way, maybe I had to try a bunch of different things to get this cause and effect style. And now it feels a little gentler, like I mold things, not mold like mold. I mold versus manipulate. And I know that's not necessarily the definitions of the word nor the energetic expression. It's just how I feel when I'm coming towards that word. Molding. Yeah, I like that. That feels better. I'm also seeing car windows that roll down. Like, actually roll down. I don't know, for whatever that is. And there's like a reflection in water. I don't know if I'm when you're young or old. I'm also seeing glasses that come apart at the brim. So the brim here, the bridge. But they're 3D glasses from when I was a kid. And they were like paper with the big old red and the blue. So you could see purple. the red and the blue. And I feel like there's a whole lot of science, what I'm going to call science for me, or knowledge, math, maybe even spectrum concepts regarding the red and the blue color specifically. But anyway, for when I'm in here, it brings me into the hands again. The red and the blue to the hands. Like right brain, left brain, closer, farther. And maybe it's like some sort of measurement I do as I'm molding something. So when I was internally and it was like, you know, the brain or whatnot, or maybe it's ideas. Now I feel like this is external. Moron. And I'm working with different people, places, hilarious. And I'm noticing like what, until the red and blue, red, closer, 3D comes into play, and then I have it. Does that make sense? Closer, farther. And then when it becomes purple, it's like, that's it. Does that make sense? That's how it's feeling. And it has that high frequency, like red of the root, maybe blue of the throat or the third eye, depending on where you're landed, depending on where it like hits you. That's the feeling I'm getting, where it hits you. Okay. I'm heading into what I think is like a TP. Okay, no, I'm back at... Okay. Sorry, you gotta bear with me here. Sorry, not sorry. So there's those 3D classes. Something about French people too. Or French... Maybe it's in the background, I don't know. See, but then there's these people like looking over. And maybe, I don't know if it was when you're a kid or the way you see things. And I don't know why I keep going to when you were a kid.
He won't leave.
Maybe it's just the inner child. There's some aspect of it that just won't leave. I don't know. Okay. But it's whether it's external and other people looking at like, how do you see what you see? Does that make sense? How do you see what you see? So there's a curiosity. Yeah, there's a curiosity there. That's what it feels like. I'm going to look at your poker hand here. I will share it with you in a hot mess minute. The Fairy of Youth, the Green Man. I have the Pan, the Queen of Owls, and Queen of the Day. I don't know if you're married, in a relationship, none of my business, but nonetheless... it feels as though mother seems to be coming through. There might be a mother in spirit or a grandmother in spirit who is watching the cosmic drama. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to just respectfully say an elder female.
This is my place.
This is my place. Thank you. You're more than welcome to be here. See, when I was a boy, Fairy of Youth, when I was a boy... You know, like Peter Pan, always being young. Is there a part of me that's forever young? See, but that's... It's not that I want to be forever young. That's not the feeling either. I just appreciate a certain youthful way, even though it's like you can be the wise green man and the pan at the same time, right? You can always play with your shadow. But then there's that in-between space. Where was I going to go? Okay, so remember down here, the mentor. Maybe for a lot of people, you are a mentor. Does that... You know what I mean? Like you become the man in the mountains. Do you live in the mountains? No idea. Not the point. The Queen of the Owls and the Queen of the Day. So I do. I feel like there's... two prominent females around you. One of them in spirit for sure. The other one could be your wife or a partner. Female energy first. Earthly expressions, not my concern. But they look over you and they're very, very playful. There's lots of smiles, but there's one that stands out quite specifically. And then there's somebody who is like, I'm going to say it like a wish come true. A wish come true and like really helps. Like sometimes can just add fairy dust to things. You know, they can just by being normal. And I don't know what that means either, but just by being who they are. They can help rearrange things when... Okay, so, I'm sorry, I'm going to get back up in here. And I'm going to start adding on some tarot and oracle as well. See if I can do this without making a disheveled mess. So now I feel like I'm in kind of like this meditative state. I almost look like a sock. I don't know if it's a sock monkey. And I kind of flop. And I sit. And all of this comes out from around me. Like it can look like the chaos of creation. Like if I was watching a cartoon and they were sweating or, no, not crying, but maybe sweating and crying at the same time. It doesn't really matter. It's the water element, the conduit, the medium in which something is moving through me. And it's like ideas, but you can see, oh, now I'm seeing like the show, is it Rick and Morty? It is the Gooblers when the main guy gets stressed out and then they have to like, and then the little thing eats the Gooblers, and they're typically blue, and then there's a red one. So maybe there's some points of stress, but then there's also, it's funny because it's like the mess turn magic, and the magic can sometimes be messy. And I want to kind of sit like this anchored sock monkey that somehow has a weight in its butt so it can sit on a mantle and not fall as easily as Humpty Dumpty type feeling. And then and then the whirlwinds around because there's this another entity up here, and it kind of like it jumps out like those Gooblers, but it's a high frequency when it's purple, and it's like when I know, spirit of destruction is coming in. I know the lighting is off, but I like to sit in the dark. It is what it is. It's like my vampiric coffin. When this comes out, and I know, there we go. There. It's like the plasma of perception, and it comes flying out. Whoosh, which actually tells me like something's been destroyed for me to have something created through all of this. And I feel like I'm like swiping really, really fast through something. What is that? So when I was young, we used to have, I don't know, remember what they were called, but they're like these things, and you would put the slide in, go, and you could see, again, like 3D, like the 3D glasses you had down there. But it's the in-between moment when there's nothing, that moment. That's probably not helpful, but nonetheless, it's there. Okay, so I'm also seeing people like leaning over. I do feel like it's a strong sense. Sense. Anyway. So it's like their faces here and they're leaning over. I'm seeing somebody on like a, I don't know if you mountain bike or not a treadmill, but like a, I don't know, bike. Stationary bike. Hunter of Paths has come through as well. Yep. When I'm going through these mess-made magics, meditative state, overwhelmed, whether it's stress or creation, I'm not really sure, or creative creation. I feel like either way, when I plop and sit and I go through that flippy thing, I destroy something and something is born that creates a new pathway for me to walk. And then I come out. And when I say walk, I mean symbolically speaking. Maybe it's just a space for my mindset to consider. And because maybe it was, I don't want to say stuck. Of course, sometimes we can get stuck there. You're at a fork in a road and you're like thinking, and I'm like, I'm at this fork in the road. I don't know what to do, or da-da-da-da. And you kind of just sit there and you look around. And then suddenly you realize there's another road, or you're like, I'm just going to forge ahead into the bush or the brush. That isn't really like carved out yet as a path. But your very willingness to kind of wander creates a path. And then it becomes easier for the next person. Easier the next time you opt to visit this path. So the fork is never a fork. It's like a tuning fork. Yep. I feel confident in saying that. The Devil. I don't know if these cards are coming through, but there we go. Yeah, it's like there's the two paths, and then there's the middle, the fork, the eye, being able to see it. And having this eye, we talked about it down here, like the devil or the angel. You know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to apply like the Peter Pan and playing with my shadow. Not capturing my shadow, but utilizing that. Maybe it's other people's shadows as well that I can see value in or sense value in, when other people might shove it away. Because I want to close my eyes as I'm listening, and I want to close my eyes because it's bringing me into some very specific conversations I've had with people, and it's like I forewarn them, I'm going to close my eyes and listen. Like I want no other distraction, sensory, to the best of my ability. Or what's another way? When I come when I don't know if everyone else is like this, but that's fine. When I come to a stop sign and I need to turn the radio down so I can see better to make the turn, like it's weird, right? You turn the radio down so you can hear better to help see better. Thank you. Yeah, it makes sense. I know it makes sense somewhere. Okay. I'm going to flip it for perspective possibility. Okay, so when I look at this as like a whole, actually I'm seeing it like two. Okay, I see sometimes like a bear trap bow. I don't know where you live, if it's surrounded by nature, 3 of Cups on the bottom, or if it's something you understand. I'm going to have to shove this for like just a second here. Can I still see? I can still see. Yeah, we're good.
Funny.
Thank you. You're funny too. Something with water. Like I almost want to say like Scotland or something. Like Loch Ness. The Hanged Man. Something about Robin Williams is coming through as well. 5 of Wands on the bottom. Yeah, I'm in that bear trap down here. The bear trap bows. And I'm also seeing, what are they called? Tip of my tongue, where is it? I think it starts with cotter pins. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if those are actually cotter pins, but that's how I'm seeing them. And now it's like this bear trap is pried open and it's held with cotter pins. I have no idea what this is in regards to. However, the 5 of Wands was on the bottom here, along with the alien. Yeah, I'm going to take those 2 to match what came out, which is the Prince of Wands and the Hanged Man. If those mean anything to you, please follow your insights first and foremost versus my earrings. Okay, so when I go into the Hangman, it actually brings me into this cotter pin feel of like hanging, to let all the blood rush to my head for some sort of enlightenment. Almost like a brain drain, a detox of sorts. And then when I and I'm quite comfortable here. It kind of gives me hammocky vibes, even though it's so extreme. But it's like, because again, I know at least how it's feeling for me. And this might be like your a devilish detail or something. Because when I'm here and I know it, there's a part of me that can relax or retreat. And it's going to cause some sort of, or does cause historically, I can see a pattern of pathways before the day. Yep. And, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call it a tower moment, will break the cord and cause destruction, but inevitably brings me about, like, because it is in this hermit, right? The hangman and the hermit, and then the Prince of Wands and the 5 of Wands. So we're actually like swapping out, and it rearranges. And now I feel like I'm on Survivor, playing one of those puzzles that, you have to. There's one spot open. You're like, oh, there, and you can only move one space at a time. But if you need this piece all the way over here. It can be a little bit of a journey. So that's what it feels like. It feels like the alien, which is the hermit. It's like, okay, and you're going to come out, or you do, you're aware of this, or maybe it's a process again, or your meditative state, or just simply like an inner world that people don't see, but it's, within you. And any sort of conflict, or again, I don't want to misconstrue conflict with creation sometimes, but nonetheless, it's like when it comes out of this prison, perhaps, it could be another word for it, I come out Prince of Wands, heart blazing. Oh my goodness. And then, to be honest with you, I circle all the way back to the devil, and I'm like my own superhero of Ace of Cups, Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment comes in with the strength, because I have the strength to go through I don't know if they're my cycles I see. Maybe, again, it's just a process or a policy. And this superhero of the self, or of my sight, whether it's hearing or seeing or something or other of my heart, I've rearranged, like that puzzle, I've rearranged. Now, maybe I do this in a room symbolically, like myself. Like I will crazily rearrange my house upside down. My husband will come home to a whole different house. Cleaning up the energy, just something wasn't right, or I needed to just move things around so I could sense space in places that maybe there wasn't space before. Again, I go to that puzzle that maybe the empty space started here, but as I start shuffling pieces, that empty space ends up over here. Does any of this make sense? I hope so. Anyway, so the devil becomes the angel, and the angel becomes the devil. But when I'm seeing this superhero, when I come out of all of this, or maybe this is, I'm just wandering around the aura of navigating, and I'm like, oh, now the superheroes pieced together by different heroes. Maybe a little, little Batman. Maybe you got a little, who's that other guy? He's stepping forward. Not the Spider-Man with the red mask, but he's funny. He's the funny one. It's not Daredevil. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like I've made my own superhero costume. We're here for Rick Rubin. This might be an emotional process. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to carry on back to the Inkblot. I hear with emotions. There's that. Okay, so.
Light.
Remember that moldy clay thing I was talking about? And I see it this way. And then it's like I plop it in when I decide to kiln it. Now I'm in like a clay or something, clay making, ceramics, for whatever reason that's coming through, and that's okay. This is how it's showing me. And now it's in the kiln of my third eye space, or my, sixth sense. What am I seeing up there? Sorry, I gotta turn it up here. Can I get another line of sight, please? I see doves as well. Doves. I don't know if there's any sort of Japanese or Asian ancestry around you, because now I'm seeing, like, I think it's like it's either somebody that was in the Vietnam War, or maybe Vietnamese, Japanese, and I don't know if they're like some sort of farmer. But they're definitely stepping forward. Okay, there's those little light things. Is there something about dogs? I'm seeing them like Pomeranians. I don't know if these are actual dogs or again, but it's in the hearing. Those are bears in the ears as well. like it brings me back to the beginning of the dog sledding, the mush, the hibernating, because these dogs are hibernating. So it's like I have two sets of ears, topical ears and bear ears. Bear, sometimes I have to go into hibernation, or I need, again, maybe it's that whole closing the eyes, I'm listening, or vice versa. I can't listen no more. I need to retreat to really like digest and like emotionally digest, so that my emotional intelligence can find the song, find the tune. Maybe your male energy hands it off to the female. Your male energy hands it off to the female energy to fully feel and digest this in the best way that the feminine energy would. Yeah, that's because now I'm seeing it like a song. Sing a song. Time Machine 3 of Engines. If I could turn back time. I don't know if that's a thing, if there's something you think about in your past, or you're able to go back there really, really quickly to like learn things efficiently. Mistakes, as they say, learn from your mistakes that aren't mistakes at all. How I see them is like, so I'm seeing a set of stairs, and I don't know if stair words other than, you know, the top of the stair that you would step on, and then the back piece, the stair, the back piece. And it's like I can see the stair being successes, we'll call them, the back piece being failures, we'll call them. And ironically enough, it's like the successes though are, oh, sweet love, passive and horizontal, where the back piece of failures were active, but they work together, right, in that formula. Yeah. And the steps can take you to and from by following steps of where I've been, what I've done, childhood, adolescence, to 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be. And that's why I have cotter pins in the bear trap, because I don't trap myself back there. I can visit, I can live, I can learn, I can do. At least this is how it's feeling for me as I'm in your aura, and I'm quite enjoying it. So thank you very much. If you didn't already, like, share, subscribe. Even though, of course, there's still security measures of your mind. I feel like it's one of those things, was it Einstein that they took his brain, or somebody took a piece of his brain afterwards when he passed so they could like analyze it? Maybe you have that as like a thing people can, it's like organ donation. They'll be able to, you know, pick your brain. Maybe they pick your brain now and you're just kind of like an open book to it. That's kind of how it feels, because I'm seeing it. Yeah, there's like an audience for your awareness. It's weird. It's fun. That's fun. Yeah, there's I feel like there might have been a relationship in the past that, yeah, was anger, just maybe left some residue. Again, could be from a parent, but it's not my place to say, because I'm not feeling it quite specifically. I'm seeing pyramids of power. Quite specifically, they're orange in nature. So I'm down here as like we're getting ready to... You're welcome. As we're getting ready to close out. In these pyramids... Okay, so sorry, hold on. I'm distracted by your gold temples. I don't know what that means. That's a perfectly okay. But then I also see them like they have this ability to like, imagine if like olive branches, I don't know if there's some people you feel like telepathically connected to, but I'm also seeing like the temples, and then microphones come out and you like hand them out like to like talk, you know, like somebody go talk, and you're like talk. Anyway, okay, I gotta move over here. So we're down at the bottom, these pyramids, creative pyramids of power. Maybe it's even like copper. See, I feel as though I've been through something. Like when I was a kid and I was like grounded. Maybe this is just where your grounded energy is. Sorry, distracted once again. It's like I've not hidden, they're hidden in plain sight. These creative pyramids that seem Egyptian-like. Exactly, the sun. Egyptian-like. Like there's some sort of power that comes through. And see, I want to play, I want to place like there's the golden temples. But the pyramids are also revered in some, yeah, absolutely, some way, shape, or form as temples. And I want to kind of place it right in like that. I don't know. I feel like if you're married, it's very loving. I very much enjoy it. Something about tulips as well. It's like seeing a mirage of the pyramids or seeing them from farther away, but because of the perspective, it's off. It's like, oh, they're right up there. We can see them. Whatever this pyramid symbolically symbolizes. Maybe it's your creative force. It's your sacral energy, maybe, moving up to your solar plexus. Because I feel like your heart is talking to your heart energy. The green energy is talking to your sacral really, really well, like they're connected. And the solar plexus connects to your third eye, but not directly in the front, through the side. So there's like a different wiring. And this brings me into like people may want to like open up your brain and take a look, but that's okay. Maybe not for you, but I'm just like, okay, moving on.
What do you want?
Maybe you've had things like where, it's like that Robin Williams is coming through. Sometimes some of the most talented people can have depression, and that's how they transmute it, cope, or hide things. Like it could be a bunch of things. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Anyway, so I see this perception of these pyramids and I'm like, oh, they're right there. It shouldn't take us long, but it seems to take forever because the size of it to the landscape. But they're hidden, like people can see, or maybe you share a portion of your pyramid, your creation, but there's always a little bit hidden, like by a brush or something, or a bush, the singing bush, the Three Amigos. You know, like, go see the singing bush. And they're like, the singing bush. Because something seems unbelievable, but really it's hidden from them. Again, it's moving those pieces around, those puzzle pieces around. Yeah. Equilibrium, knower, lovers. And I'll bring these cards up. And this one came out when I was talking about what I believe was maybe a past relationship with yourself. Five of Cups, disappointment. It could have even been when somebody passed and just leaves a residue of being missed. Just being missed. And sometimes that missing somebody is messy.
I'm weak.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not weak for missing anyone at all. Okay, so I am actually getting ready to close out here. Lovers, knower, equilibrium. So again, whether it's within the self of the male and female aspects, right, left, this, that, or the other, or it is a partner expressed in physical form, I do feel like they know you. They just know you. Maybe so much conversation doesn't need to be had. And then I'm hearing that song, Hello, Darkness, my old friend. So maybe even when there's bouts of ups and downs in life, you know, everyone's always on the same page, but there's an equilibrium of energy, of attention, of offerings. There's those gold again. And there's steps. It's like when there's emotional waters and it's getting a little rocky. Now, again, whether this doesn't have to be negative, it could just be a process, right? Sailing. And now I'm in Forrest Gump, and is it Captain Dan who's on the front, like, try and take me down, or whatever the case may be. And Einstein is even in there, and we were talking about Einstein and maybe your brain. like someone's looking for the diamond of it, you know, diamond in the rough. Nonetheless, that's okay. So I don't know. I feel love is all around you. And when things could be rough, or there's, you know, exciting. I don't want to misconstrued anxiety for excitement or creative chaos because there's stairs here in this card. They're way off to the side. They're like moss covered. Again, they're like hidden. They're like on the side of your pyramid. Your partner, your internal aspects, your archetypes can come together and kind of be the offering. And it's like this boat comes in and then moves you from the waters, goodbye, thank you so much, to the stairs for you to walk up. It's like being in a wave pool. I don't know if they still have them when we were kids, and they're just, you know, you would all wander into this wave pool, I'm sure of pee, but nonetheless, you're kids, and you wander in, and they're like these big, massive waves, but it was so exciting. But then every so often you had to, you know, you have to get out, and you just walk out. There's stairs. You just walk out. Now I'm also seeing the Truman Show. And at the end of the Truman Show, how he walks up the sky, that is stairs, and then there's a door. Okay, Rick Rubin. And to all those who have decided to stay and stick around, thank you so much. I always am humbled by your willingness to explore, your patience, and your donations, support, all that kind of good stuff. Any last messages for the energy and aura of Rick? We have here passions. These cards can be tough. Passion, this is central headquarters, and down home funk, which if you, well, you don't know me, but if you do know me in the audience, you know that I don't necessarily take the cards meaning first. A shout out to all the artists. I read the art first. This is the camping, whether it's the dog sledding somewhere up in the mountains, the retreat where, you know, you and your Mr. and Mrs. of within, or your Mr. and Mrs. of without, can go and retreat. Something about being headquarters. Maybe this is you. For a lot of people, you might be headquarters for a lot of people. But it brings me into that meditative sock monkey. And you know, you've got the 3D glasses on. Whatever it is that you're molding, whatever it is that you do, and I know very, very little. Very little. But it's passionate. I don't know why it's funny either. I just think it's funny because I just like jumping blindly. I just have this inherent trust. I'm like, okay, this name's stepping forward, off I go. So anyway, Rick Rubin, maybe that is have passion, be passion, noticing the difference between lust and love, applying that to whatever it is that you do. Maybe that's some form of discernment. But I love it. I love it, and I hope that you have enjoyed truly once again. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.